What is going on? You are watching and listening to Talk About Gay Sex, the live edition, also called Tags Live. This is episode 390. I'm your host, Steve V, alongside Kodi Maurice Doggette. How the hell you doing on this Wednesday night?
Hello, darling. I'm doing wonderfully, darling. I'm in my interview shirt tonight, so I had to keep it nice and classy.
Oh, okay. I didn't get that memo, but that's okay. That's okay. I used this on Saturday night, and it was messy for me, but I did wash it for the show.
I mean, it's good luck. Good luck is good luck, right?
Yeah, I washed it before the show, so I am good. A little bit later in the show, we are welcoming our special guest, Eric Millen, who's going to be talking to us about Lgbt Personals app. I can't wait for that. Yeah. It's Wednesday night. We've got a live audience in front of us. Hello, everyone watching us live. As you do know, the show gets repackaged for Thursday morning, along with show notes that you can always get on TAGSPodcast.com. Well, I'm excited, Kodi, this week because at the end of the week, I'm going on 2 dates that I met on speed dating.
Ooh.
So I told you I went on speed dating last Tuesday night and had such a great time. Last night, I went on a friend date of somebody that I met, because remember I told you that you could check the box of friendship, and one of the guys was not in my category. He was younger. Okay. And we got together and had just a great time. He's going to be a fun buddy. I can't wait for you to meet him.
I can't wait either.
Yes. I was giving him some places to hit because he's going to Paris this week. And so I'm very excited about him.
Yeah. Très bien.
Love Paris. Super excited about that. And but the dates, I am going on 2 dates on Thursday, tomorrow night, and then one on Friday night. And I decided to mix up. I booked and busy. I decided to mix up the places, so I'm not going to go to the same spot each time. I was going to do the same spot.
Okay.
But I decided to mix it up because I don't want the staff to go, "You again? And who is this you're with?" Yeah, I know.
They shouldn't judge. They should appreciate. I thought it was a beautiful idea.
It was. And so I'm mixing it up a little bit, but I'm really excited to report back on how they go. You know, it'll be light, bright fun on a summer night. So I will report back on that.
All right. Easy, beautiful cover.
Yeah, booked up. Exactly. Well, we've got to get into hot topics before we bring on our special guest.
I'm ready.
Okay, well, let's get into the first one. I was so excited to talk to you about Frank Ocean. You know the artist Frank Ocean, but he hasn't had that much music out recently, and that's kind of a problem. Well, I didn't realize this. He's bisexual.
Oh, yes. I knew. Yeah.
Okay.
I thought he was gay, though, but he's bisexual?
The one, I don't know. That according to this one article from Q News, he bisexual. We'll just go by that right now. Musician.
Okay. I'll call him.
He's a friend of the LGBTQI. So that's
right. He's in our community. Yeah.
Frank Ocean has shocked fans worldwide with his latest release this week. While many fans had been awaiting more music from the singer, it was not to be. Instead, guess what he released? A very expensive gold and diamond encrusted cock ring through his jewelry line, Homer. It's Homer, right? Yeah. Homer. And it's not what fans obviously expected from Frank Ocean. After his successful 2012 album, Channel Orange, Frank Ocean was named one of the world's most influential people by Time magazine. And it was 4 years later that he released his follow-up entitled Blonde, which was also critically acclaimed. Well, since then, fans have been eagerly awaiting the release of a brand new album. And instead of getting singles, he focused on his fashion line, Homer. He has also focused on his artistic endeavors on photography work in recent years.
Beautiful.
It is named the XX Extra Large H Bone Ring. The new release from the singer, the cock ring, is priced at over $25,000.
Oh my goodness, that's expensive.
Yeah,
Are you getting one?
I would love one, darling, but no, I am not. And
It's
you
on
know,
my
I would,
Christmas list.
if I would wear it all the time and be flashing my dick everywhere I went. I would get arrested because if I spent that kind of money on that, I don't care how much money I had, I would make it known. I would just be showing not just people I want to sleep with, other people. It would be. He did show it on social media. I don't know if you saw it, but they blurred out his penis.
Yeah. I saw that picture.
Yeah.
I was like, did he really show it on social media? Because on Twitter, he could get away with it.
He didn't. I'm a little bit unnerved by this because why not come out with music and a song called Cock Ring? And I mean, what's the deal? Why are fans? We talked about this offline, and you were like, an artist releases music when he wants to, not when.
Exactly. I stand by that 100%. The artistic process cannot be rushed, darling. Okay, us divas over here, me, Beyonce, Frank Ocean.
What about Billy Ocean? Because I was getting confused earlier talking about Billy Ocean, talking about Caribbean Queen.
Girl, you better call yourself out, girl.
But listen, Billy Ocean, I did some research before we went on the show, and unlike Frank Ocean and Rihanna, by the way, which everyone wants new music from Rihanna, the two of Rihanna and Frank Ocean, they have not come out with music since 2016.
When was the last time Billy Ocean came out with the album?
2021.
No way.
Greatest Hits. He came out with.
Hits
Okay, but I'm gonna
back new music.
Let me back it up.
I'm sorry to jump all over you.
An album in 2020. He came out with a brand new album called One World. So how is Billy Ocean? So I think my argument is the new kids feel like the music industry has changed, and I get it. It's not like the old days where Madonna churned out album after album, Janet, album after album, and then we could get. Now, at least Rihanna has several albums before she came out with Fenty Fashion.
Yes, that was going to be one of my points. Rihanna came out with an album every single year for like 10 years.
So
which is
I will forgive that.
Yeah,
but I'm sorry, Frank Ocean needs to take note from his counterpart, Billy Ocean.
His Uncle Billy.
Get out of my head.
Oh, you caught me off guard. I was ready to go in on you, and you just, wow. Okay, yeah. No, Frank Ocean needs to come out with an album when the creative process has gestated inside of him and he's ready to give birth to this new baby. You can't just be spitting out babies every single year. Rihanna did it, but she hasn't had a baby since. It's a creative process. It can't be rushed. You don't want to put out, especially somebody as prolific as Frank Ocean is, you don't want to be putting out music that is not as good as your previous efforts. So I am here for it. Take as long as you want. Make sure it's good. It's just like me being late when I come out. I make sure I look on point and beautiful. Snatched. Okay. I said it, I think last week. If I came out looking a mess, then you could call me on some shit, on some stuff. But I come out looking gorgeous I bring it to you every ball, honey.
You too. And we're gonna give, believe me, I love a good cock ring. I'm all for a gold encrusted, which also comes in silver, diamond encrusted cock ring. You do it. Sell that cock ring. I would love one myself, to be honest, because I love to, on a Saturday night, I love putting on a cock ring and going out to play. It's so fun. And just knowing I have it on, if it was diamond encrusted, I would be flashing it everywhere.
Expensive.
What are people saying before we move on to our next topic?
El Ray says, that's great. And then he found out the price and he was like, never mind.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Oz says, nope. And Oz says, I'm good with the $6 set you can order online.
My favorite movie. Nope. Absolutely. All right. We've got to move on because we got a lot to cover before we bring on our special guest. We got to talk about monkeypox because it's everything that's relating to our community and our sexuality right now. And sadly, several teenagers allegedly but it sounds like it was true, assaulted a gay couple in Northwest Washington, D.C.'s Shaw neighborhood last Sunday afternoon after calling them monkeypox. Can I say the word?
I say go for it.
Faggots.
It's reality. Yeah.
Monkeypox faggots is what they called them. The incident marks one of the first reported attacks on members of the LGBTQ plus community related to the monkeypox outbreak. And I don't know, it was to me only a matter of time that we were going to see this occur, Kodi, of attacks. I mean, from all the media attention that it has been primarily from men and bisexual men who sleep with other men that get monkeypox. But did you not predict that this was going to happen?
I didn't predict that this was going to happen. I really think it's a shame that it has happened and that our community is facing the brunt of this epidemic. My boyfriend actually just sent me an op-ed about the marginalization of gay men during this time and the parallels of now and back in the 80s with the AIDS epidemic. So it's really saddens me.
Yeah, it definitely saddens me as well. I think we were talking about stigmatization within the community. Along those lines, early data, and this is out of Georgia, early data shows monkeypox disproportionately is affecting Black men. Monkeypox in Georgia is affecting an overwhelming number of Black people compared to other races, a disproportionate effect not anticipated just a few weeks ago. New data shows that by the Georgia Department of Public Health. And, quote, a few weeks ago when this was circulating in Europe, this wasn't even being talked about in our community of color. And I think there was an initial perception that this was in largely white communities and white, gay, and so on and so forth. It's interesting with that because I remember Gay Pride New York here and seeing the local, it's here in Chelsea. It's a local community health clinic that's been around for forever here in Chelsea. I can't think of the name off my top of my head.
It's not California, is it, right?
No, it's just super popular, but it was promoted during Gay Pride weekend.
I think I know the one you're talking about. I can't remember the name either.
And so all the line around the corner, that was the first clinic that got vaccinations to give out to them. And I always remember there was no online way of getting it at the time. And who were in line was mostly white.
Callum Lord.
Is it Callum Lord? Callum Lord. Yes, exactly. And the line around the corner was all white gay men that were getting it. And so does it surprise you, Kodi, that there is a disproportionate number of people in the Black community that are getting this?
No, I read anybody can get monkeypox. I read these statistics. I was flabbergasted because it goes on to kind of break down where the most amount of cases are in the United States. And it's just spreading like wildfire. And it's because no one really took this epidemic seriously, except for mainly gay men. And I think that could be attributed to the reason that it has spread so crazily, rampantly. Exactly. Thank you very much.
It's interesting. Yeah, go ahead.
I said something on Tuesday that I kind of want to walk back.
Yeah, walk back.
So I said that I saw somebody on the dance floor getting blown, and the guy you remember that? And so I kind of want to walk it back because I don't know if that's the truth, and I don't know. It's definitely not my truth, and I try and adhere to those two things. If I don't know something for sure, I don't know if it's a fact, or if it's not something that I feel or I know for myself specifically, I try not to say it on the show. But when you online with or talking to your girlfriends and you want to get the gossip out. So I kind of don't know if that's entirely true. And I don't want to attribute to the fear mongering that, prompted that attack. So
no worries. And I'm glad you cleared that up. Absolutely. Yes. Thank you for doing that. Okay, El Rey says we are live on Wednesday night with Tags Live. Thank you, El Rey, for your comment. He says, please put these kids back in school. And that was one of my thoughts, actually, about the first story when we talked about the the kids that were the teenagers that called this couple Monkeypox faggots. I thought the same thing too, that we are in a current state in the country where we're taking away education, and we're taking away, you can't say gay in Florida, and you're taking away our books that are educating, and who's to teach the kids about sexuality, and on and on and on. This is only going to promote more hatred and homophobia within communities that is going to be targeting our communities. And so I 100% agree with you. Put these kids back in school, but give them proper education, and education that enlightens about all of our stories. That's the only way we're going to find less hatred, especially when things pop up like anomalies like monkeypox. So thank you for that comment.
And I want to say also that one of the teenagers was a young lady, and she stuck around. She wasn't a part of the attack, but her friends was a part of the attack. And she apologized for her friends, and they discussed it. She said that her dad is gay as well. So
yeah,
people just need to be educated across the board.
Absolutely. Can you read some of the comments before I find our next story?
Callie Dad says, y'all have convinced me, and monkeypox, I'm staying home. Joe and I, my boyfriend, he got his first shot today. I'm going tomorrow at 11 o'clock to get my first shot. So El Rey got vaxxed in the Bronx, and he was the only one of color in line. That's absurd. So I need for our Black and brown people to get out there and get vaxxed.
All right. Thank you for that. All right. We've got time for one more story before we bring on our special guest who's going to be talking about Lgbt Personals. But before we do that, I don't know if you're familiar with the artist Yungblud, but he's a young artist. I think you said he's gay, correct?
That's what the story said. I have never heard. I don't want to say this on the show, but I've never heard of him before.
Well, he was performing. It's interesting because he was performing at Coachella recently, and people were busy talking about the performance. This is way back in April, and we just realized that he had a dick slip in a picture he was taking with Billie Eilish. People were so busy talking about the performances and the outfits at the festival at this year's Coachella, they didn't even notice that Yungblud's dick was hanging out in his pic with Billie Eilish. Excuse me.
Yes.
The queer
Billie
singer,
Ocean, like you said.
Yeah, I know. Too many Billies today. The queer singer who is known for his songs "The Funeral." I listened to that one today. It's
Is
alternative. It's alternative rock, and it's not bad.
Like that.
And Fleabag looks more, well, we won't say what this article said he looks like, but I saw this picture of his dick. First of all, you pointed out that it wasn't that impressive, correct, Kodi? So you weren't that interested. I'll post this on TAGSPodcast.
Maybe he's a grower, not a shower.
Yeah, let me post this in our live stream right now, but for people to look at it. I just think it was sloppy, though, when us gays, us LGBTQI, have perfected the costumes and the strategic ways of going out at night, and we know how to show it when we want to show it. I just think, how are you going to be an artist, not that well known of an artist, and be going commando and have your dick out and be taking a picture with Grammy Award winner Billie Eilish? That's just, he's not going to get a Grammy nomination now.
You never know.
He might get a porn award, but
he might get a Grammy.
But I don't know. There's not much. He's not working with much there. So, but maybe he's a grower, not a shower. Maybe he's a grower, not a shower like you.
Yeah, exactly. You never know. And I mean, it is what it is. Everybody has a little snafu. Janet Jackson had
look what happened to Janet, though. They dragged her under it. Affected everything.
Should we cancel him? We should. You know what? Just on the Janet Jackson of it all. He's
on the
canceled.
Janet of it all, in the Rhythm Nation of it all, can we cancel this kid? Now, I mean, I just think it was a little bit sloppy. I mean, first of all, Coachella, it's so hot at these awards. People
That's why he
love
wasn't wearing underwear.
I can't go commando. No, going commando does not work for me. It's so sweaty and gross. And if you want somebody to go down on you, you need the cotton to absorb and do its job so that when you do finally whip it out with your Frank Billy Ocean cock ring, that at least it's not stank. And you know what I'm saying?
Okay, I love the smell. I like a little musk. I'm sorry, I'm kind of a dirty boy, so I don't mind it actually.
So you're a yay for Yungblud's dick slip. I'm a thumbs down.
No, he's canceled on the Janet Jackson
on the Rhythm Nation of it all.
Rhythm Nation, all for you of it all.
Now a word from our sponsor, BetterHelp. Hey guys, your buddy Steve V here, and you may have heard me recently talk about how I take care of my mind and get through day to day, and a lot of it lately is through personal meditation, which has really set the tone for my day. I can't tell you how impactful just 10 minutes a day has helped for me. There are also other ways that are so helpful. How well would you take care of your car if you had to keep the same one your entire life? That's how our brains work. So why don't we treat them that way? How we care for our minds affects how we experience life. So it's important to invest time and care into keeping them healthy. There are plenty of ways to support healthy brain, like learning a new language or taking power naps. Well, there's also BetterHelp online therapy. You know, we're all leading busy lives these days, and there's so much going on in the world. It can truly be overwhelming. Therapy can be a tool that can help with some of those roadblocks we all face, whether it's relationships, moving on to a new career, or maybe you want to move, or maybe you're just feeling depressed or funky and don't know why. Therapy can be so helpful, somebody outside of your close inner circle to really give you the tools you need to move past some of those roadblocks. Well, BetterHelp is online therapy that offers video, phone, and even live chat only therapy sessions. So you don't have to see anyone on camera if you don't want to. It's much more affordable than in-person therapy, and you can be matched with a therapist in under 48 hours. So, our listeners are getting 10% off their first month by going to betterhelp.com/tags. That's betterhelp, HELP.com/tags, TAGS. On that note, we've got to bring in our special guest, Eric Millen. Go ahead and grab this spot and join us. And I'll go ahead and introduce you.
Oh, did I jump the gun there? Sorry.
Hi.
Hi there.
Hi.
Welcome to the show.
Sorry if I jumped the gun there. Thanks.
Not at all. Let me introduce you. Coming to the show right now is the CEO and founder of Looking List Personals, the world's most open and inclusive personals service. Eric Millen, welcome to Tags Live. How you doing?
Great, thanks. Cheers. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. You're in, just real quick, you're in Toronto?
Yeah, the tropical plants are not native here.
Okay. No worries. I know. I love Toronto. We love Canada. One of the things I love about, and I want you to describe it more, but Looking List Personals, you have the tagline, no chat, no swipe, no bullshit. I always say on this show that I don't do well on the apps. I just don't, partly because of what you just posted in that. One of my favorite things of all time has been Craigslist. Right. And because I feel like it's like takeout. You get what you want out there. There's a menu. I create the menu and I get what I want for the night or tomorrow night. Can you describe how you started Looking List Personals and how it is similar to Craigslist?
So do you want the long story or the short story?
Give us the short one because we got a lot of questions.
Okay, so the short story is basically I work as a massage therapist and I spend a lot of
Okay.
time around gay guys one-on-one. So it's really cool to get the one-on-one stories. And there's so many stories of these grinder headaches, right? Like getting stood up, people, what do we call it? Better dealing you,
Ghosting?
Well,
Oh,
I'm
okay.
chatting to you and you're great, but he's a little hotter. And then he stops talking to me and it's 3 a.m. So I'm back to you, right? So, you're stringing everyone on, people are unhappy. And there's
Ah.
this sense of kind of, I don't know. I think there's like, I don't know, you just want to chat. But I find out after 20 minutes when I could have been with him, there's so many of these stories that I heard. So
Mhm.
it was 2018 and we had this idea, first of all, like no one thinks of time. Are you free now? There is no now. Like if you're my next door neighbor and you're ready to go, I need a shower. Like, now is at least
Yeah.
15 minutes, right?
Finally,
So,
a straight guy that gets us or me.
well, so I used to live in the UK and I would do out call massages sometimes, and how do you see who's around where you're going to be rather than where you are now is one of the thoughts. So we had this idea of just put it all out front. And like you mentioned the menu, well, we always thought of it like fishing. So like put out what's
Oh.
out there, right? They'll bite if they like what you're offering. So we had this idea and then Craigslist got shut down in, I guess it was March 2018. So it was the Sesta Fosta, let me remember my acronyms. Fight Online Sex Trafficking Act / Stop Enabling Sex Trafficking Act. It was a Trump
Okay.
thing, right? Being
Right.
Canadian, we're not really affected by that. So, the whole Sesta Fosta thing was basically if you own the site, you're liable for any abuses.
Oh, wow.
So
Ooh.
Craigslist got hit and they never made money from it. So they just backed off, right? Because they had erotic services. Backpage, really sketchy. And apparently they were kind of like they had a trial, right? So
Right.
Mhm.
everyone kind of abandoned that space. And I kind of started surveying people I knew, like what are the frustrations of the hookup apps, the gay kind of chats, right? And we realized we'd never compete on Nana guys, the live chat and everything, but we can help you put yourself out there with fewer limits. And
Okay.
since Craigslist was no longer there, it was kind of open.
Cool. So you mentioned Craigslist and a bunch of the things that they got in trouble for back in the day. So
Yep.
the first thing that comes to my mind when you say Craigslist is the safety features or
Sure.
how
Yep.
like the Craigslist killer and all things of that nature. So
Yeah.
what are you doing to kind of limit this and navigate those types of issues?
Well, primarily we have content moderation. So we have the ability
Mhm.
to report people. We have blocking. So we're not profile based, right? Like if you
Okay.
post 2 ads, I don't necessarily know that A and B are you. Like it could be
Oh.
a chest pic for one, and the next was a face pic. So we have the ability to report. It's kind of community based. You can flag ads. It can be based on the content, or if the community just knows like that person's posted before. We have a system
Mhm.
where we can do push notifications to local areas for scam alerts. Scam alerts, we haven't had any safety issues yet, but that's a concern.
Okay.
We also allow reporting via conversations. So you can block, you can report to prevent harassment, threatening, anything threatening like that. But it really is kind of, because we're so open,
Mhm.
it requires discretion. You put yourself out there, you got to be careful who you're meeting.
Yeah, I agree.
So one of the things that I loved about it is like Craigslist, you could put exactly what you're looking for, and you could put if you want to host or
Yep.
travel. I was doing my own ad on there the other day and playing around with it, putting up a picture and
Right.
kind of creating what I wanted. I noticed I had one suggestion because here in New York, sometimes it's easy to get on the subway station or subway and travel, but I could also host. I noticed
Right.
you only have one option. You either host or you travel. Is that something
Yep.
you would look at to add maybe a third option of either?
Well, so we kind of wanted to make it forced because you can post multiple ads, right? And
Okay.
even though you post,
Okay.
even though you post, you can also reply to other people. So you can have your
nice.
fishing lure out there and be hitting up the other people. So you have a lot of freedom. We allow you to post up to 3 ads, and you can edit them anytime. You can hide them. If you're getting flooded by too many people, you just hide and talk to the people who've hit you back already. Oh, was that a wave?
I mean, I have a boyfriend, but
well, let's talk about that, Kodi, because one of the things I love that you can post up to 3, and one of the things you encourage on there is things like your fetishes to look into putting out there. So you might want to post one that could be your fetish that you're into, that you might want to host at your house.
Yep.
And then maybe you want to get pounded in the Bronx and put that out there for that. I mean, there's a lot. I mean, because I think we're not a monolithic community. We have many likes and desires, and I think that's kind of cool. And you're fishing, like you said, so you want to see what takes the bait.
Yeah. So there was an ad posted in the Bronx the other day. Who knows who it's from? So it was a black guy wearing like a catering outfit with his little hat on, and he's looking to host. And, it really got me thinking, like, does he have a quiet little corner of the restaurant? Is there a walk-in fridge? Because so the posting, it's both location specific and day and time, right? So you can really kind of avoid those, not misconnections, kind of like, what do they call it, where 2 ships almost hit? Like
2 ships passing in the night? No,
there's another word for it. But, there's so many stories I've heard of it almost working out, but not quite.
Right.
And if you'd started 5 minutes earlier or 10 minutes earlier, if I knew you'd be there then. So we have that kind of mentality of trying to prompt people to commit a little bit, which is something we're actually looking at maybe softening. So you mentioned, Steve, about maybe the host and travel option.
Right.
We're thinking that it might be good to bring a third option of like online only. So like all your examples are about hooking up in this dense downtown area, which is kind of what we had in mind, right? So I was living in the UK at the time. I remember doing some research, and like home ownership under 40 is almost 0%. No one lives alone. So this hosting premium is like, my roommate's out for 3 hours, therefore post 20 minutes before he goes out, kind of thing was the idea.
Right.
But we found a lot of people were posting, since we've been on the store, a lot of more rural people, because there just aren't the people around, right? So the fact that you can put yourself out there, and in the city, like a 20-minute walk is too much for some people. 3 subway stops might be too much. But in the country, people will drive like an hour and a half, especially if they can, really find out what's on the menu before they get there, kind of thing.
Oh, cool.
I love that. Well, we have some questions coming in, but one of the things that I loved about it is the diversity that you encourage. Talk a little bit about that. I know when I went on there to post an ad, I clicked the man for man, but there are several categories on there. Talk about that.
So we wanted to offer, as much flexibility in how you put yourself out there without going overboard. So the LGBT acronyms, I swear, it's like every month there's another one. I memorized this the other day. Just let me see if I get it. It's LGBTQQIA2S positive. Lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, transsexual, queer, questioning, intersex, asexual, two-spirited, positive, I think.
You're doing better than me, so I think that's pretty good. We're gonna go with that.
I think I'm up to date on that. By the end of this podcast, I might be off.
Obviously, you don't list all of those on connections, but how many do you have currently on there?
So we kind of borrowed from the Craigslist conventions of, so we call it the dash for dash category, like M for M, M for W, M for T, and then it would be 3 by 3, so it's 9. I can just actually pop out the little menu here. So we have this little, probably really glary. This is the classic menu, right?
That's cool.
Yep. So you just choose essentially like, you grab man for man. This is the Toronto scene, essentially. We had a new one posted this evening. So more or less like, what would it be? 6 of them are pretty straightforward. Man for man, man for woman, woman for man, woman for woman. But then the whole trans things really gets messy, because you've got the what is it? FTM, NTF, AFAB assigned female at birth, AMAB assigned male at birth. Like we just couldn't fit that on to like one screen.
Mhm.
Right.
So the idea is you choose the best fit, and then we have a keyword search. Put in your terms. I am AMAB, but whatever presenting. Like they change so much, right? The poly,
Yeah.
the sapiosexual. I'm only attracted to clever people. Do you hang out at the library? Really? Come on.
Yes. I mean, who hasn't cruised the library or
Well,
Barnes and Noble?
we definitely are reading people here. But speaking of reading, El Rey had a question. With so many apps out there, I'd like to know how each user's information and
use data,
how
I suppose.
it's used and stored. Yeah.
Well, that's so I'm not sure how I would answer that. I'm not really the tech guy. So we're not profile based. Everyone has an account. Basically, all we really get from you beyond your messages is your settings. So because you don't have a profile, you set up your settings on the back end. So yeah, a lot of glare there. But essentially your height, your weight, you can choose kinks, and it's very secure. My business partner is more on the tech side on that. But basically, we comply with the GDPR regulations. So all your data is available if you request it. We have to, the rules are we must send the user a copy of their data if they request it, and delete it if they request it. So, we follow all those rules, and they're also often changing. The EU right now, they're changing some things. They're changing everything right now. They're even trying to force Apple to comply with the USB-C rules about charging.
Okay.
So we're very flexible, and we're very secure.
Fabulous.
Got it. Kodi, go ahead.
Are you I'm curious because we're talking and you seem super familiar with this, of course, because you created it. But are you someone that uses this app as well?
I haven't put myself out there too much. Not on this particularly. Honestly, I feel a little bit bashful. So it's me and my business partner, and we see what's published locally. So if I were to put myself out there locally, I don't know. It's
conflict of interest.
Yeah, in a way, right?
Okay.
Got it. And, I was curious because as you just heard in the previous story, we constantly are talking about what's going on right now, and monkeypox is affecting our community. And I'm talking about the whole acronym. Have you noticed a drop in ads? Because recently I was at a cruise bar here and I was talking to the bartenders who was telling this on episode 389, how the bartenders said they've noticed a drop in business during this monkeypox period. So I'm just curious to know, have you seen a drop in people posting ads given what's going on right now?
Actually, it's been a little bit more busy than before.
Okay.
I think maybe it's the idea that, everyone's on Grindr. So it's the monkeypox is really the men who, men who sleep with men who have sex with men community.
Right.
I think there's more reticence on the other apps, more chatting. And because we are more direct, the ones who are a little bit less discerning, a little bit, more raring to go are putting themselves out there a bit more. I caught your episode a little while ago. I think, Steve, you mentioned you brought a guy home and you showered together to kind of do the visual inspection.
Yeah.
Maybe we're getting more of those types, like let's plan it out and find a good place with nice lighting first.
Yeah, absolutely. Kodi, did you have another question before we move on?
Well, Ray has a question.
Yeah.
He wants to know, is it a paid app or are we forced to view ads?
So it's totally free, but we are ad monetized. So I'd show you on the camera, but it's a little bit hard to show. So we did all this research. People hate pop-ups. They hate the pop-ups. They hate the screaming Grindr pop-ups that play music. So we basically monetize with the banners on the bottom, which is pretty standard. And the way we work, so when we were essentially just a list, right? Newest to the top and then older going down. When you update your ad, if you want to get to the top again, you have to watch a rewarded video, kind of like a video game. So they're between 15 and 30 seconds. It doesn't start until you push play. You can mute it if you want. It's kind of the best compromise we can do. We do have to pay the bills, and we feel it's more like a transaction. You know, we're not screaming at you. We're not interrupting. Here you go. You want to go to the top. You want that prime real estate. Give us 10 seconds of your life. You know,
And isn't life just a transaction in general?
many transactions. Yeah.
Well, I'm really a big fan of this. And one of the things I know you put as you promote this is you say, put yourself out there, and that's how you will do your best. Do you have tips on what is the best method of putting yourself out there? And I noticed you said, I was watching you do a weekly roundup, which is on YouTube. We'll promote that in a minute. But one of the things on there is you had a minimum of 80 characters that you've now brought it down to, is it 50 characters to describe what it is that you're looking for?
Yeah. So we really wanted to avoid the like, hi, you free now message, because we're not a chat. You know,
what's up? I think that is the latest, right? What's up?
The 3 letters, right?
So I'm going to ask you to do that all the time, Steve. I'm sorry.
I'm going to put a Frank Ocean line out there next week.
So we wanted to encourage this, you know, be a little bit more descriptive about yourself. Take a little bit more time, because so what distinguishes us from the other chat apps is it's not where you are now. Your ad is static. You know, I could publish one, like if I'm coming to see you guys in New York on the weekend, I could publish now for like outside your apartment. I'm coming to see Steve. I'll be free at 6 p.m. Saturday. Who's around? So you see my ad. You don't know, like, is he online now? You know, it's there. So you reply, the person gets back to you, or they don't. Don't expect that instantaneous, hi, sup, you know. This is not like that. It can be like that if the person's online. But we wanted more like, you know, what are you really looking for? What is it you're into? So your question about kind of like the best strategies. So I got a really interesting question here. So do you focus when you're writing about yourself on what you want or how you're going to make the other person feel? And I think it's a really interesting one, because we've seen some interesting ads recently. And I think there's a certain kind of cocky, surefire, you know, I'm the alpha male and I'm going to give it to you this way. Versus I'm going to give you the evening of your life. I'm going to romance the pants off you or whatever else, you know, like it's an interesting question. How does that work for different sexualities, different kind of gender roles? I think the cocky, tough guy, you know, balls out kind of guy, cock ring out, showing off his little, what is it? You said diamond and studded? I think that works.
Diamond encrusted, yeah.
I think that really works.
They bought Frank Ocean's cock ring?
But, you know, is it what I'm going to, you know, the experience I'm going to give you, or you're here for me?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I love that. So what are some of the more you mentioned you got a lot of interesting ads. What are some of the more interesting ads that you can divulge on this podcast right now?
So give me just 1 second here. We had a really interesting one in LA the other day. I'm just going to, I wish I could screen share with you, but it's a little bit hard. So we have, I'm not sure if it's like the furry thing or a BDSM thing.
Okay.
I can show you the picture because this is not a face picture. Okay. This is a mask. So I'm just going to turn my ring light off on my webcam. So this is someone posted. It's a pig mask with a ball.
Oh my!
And it's a M for M ad. So I don't know what letter he gets here, but it's
pig
play, the headline is. 1 second here. We got chastity pig looking to serve. Hey there, looking to travel to service your needs. Down for a lot, very few limits. Let's talk. So you know, he's really putting himself out there. Yeah, chastity pig. So I know there's the furries. I know there's the pups and all that. Sorry, I think I got my earphones on the wrong side.
No worries. We didn't notice
that happened.
There we go. So, like, really cool. You know, where else would he be? Would he be on eHarmony? You know, putting himself out there for the, you know, Christian mingle type.
Christian mingle. I was just gonna say that.
Oh my God, Kodi, no. Listen, I love that this
Eric
is out
said it
there.
Too.
Yeah, well, no. This is not. This is Looking List Personals. We put it in the chat line, so check it out there. You can get it on your phone, and I'll of course put all the links on TAGSPodcast.com. Where can people follow you socially?
Oh, so my personal Twitter is at Eric Delmer, my middle name. We have our own, we have all the standard social media. So we've got Looking List app is our Twitter, I believe. And then everything else is Looking List Personals for Instagram and Facebook.
I love it. Well, much success to you. I really love this app. I'm going to definitely use it because I think it's right up my alley, as I'm not into the apps, and we'll continue to promote it. But will you want to stick around for a few more hot topics that we want to talk about?
Sure. Yeah, that'd be great.
All right, cool. Well, there's recently Out Traveler did the 15 tips for the best backdoor. They were talking about backdoor anal sex, but sex outdoors essentially is what they were talking about on this article. Kodi, I know that you read it. I'm going to list a few of the things that they thought were best for outdoor sex. Number 1, check out relevant laws and regulations. Ooh, so important. This one might sound like it's not very inclusive, but I'll tell you a little bit more about it when I say it. Number 2 is be in good physical condition. You do not want to go down a hill and not be able to get up after you've had sex. Check the weather. With recent stories of people getting hit by lightning, I would definitely add that one to the mix too.
Hit by lightning? Wow. Oh my
goodness. Yes, there was a recent story out there and they didn't live. So that was really sad.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to laugh.
Mind the elevation, because the higher you go, the less oxygen. Pick the right place. Now, generally speaking, you want to find a spot away from the trail, of one that minimizes the chances of being happened to upon other backpackers and hikers. So you want to pick the right spot that is not going to mind you getting busy. Choose the right time of day. Daytime is usually ideal for weather and temps, but you run a higher risk of being interrupted by other hikers at certain times of the day. Decide to tent or not to tent is another one. Leave the sleeping bags out of it. I like that. On and on. The one that I think is my favorite at the very end, clean up after yourself. No one wants you to leave trash around, condoms, whatever it is you're using. No. And the one that I think, number 15, embrace the call of the wild. Quote, I've lost count of how many times I've been criticized for obsessing about finding the perfect campsite. However, if you choose the right site that's far away enough from others, you can finally let go like you're sexing it up in a soundproof room. So feel free to vocalize without fear of someone banging on the wall telling you to keep it quiet. It's a liberating experience knowing you are the only folks within a few miles. So make Jack London proud and let loose with your own call of the wild. That one, I think so many of us, particularly in cities with thin walls, are so paranoid that we've learned to have these quiet orgasms. And how fun is it to just let it all out? Your junk is out in the call of the wild. I am here for that. Eric, I'm going to put you on the spot. Do you like outdoor sex? And do you have any feedback on these tips or tips that you recommend?
I can't say I've got a lot of experience on that, but I can't believe no one mentioned the physical fitness, checking if it's illegal, and make sure you can run away from the cops. And then the noise, you got to check for echoes. No one's around for miles, but everyone miles away can hear.
Yes. Kodi, what about you? Do you like any other tips on outdoor sex?
I love this. I printed it and committed it to memory. All parts of it. I love outdoor sex. And I think I have outdoor sex indoors right now because I am very, very, very loud.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. My boyfriend just actually put in the chat. He's in the room right now. He says Kodi has outdoor sex indoors. So I guess everybody knows.
The other thing I would say is sun protection. If you're having it in the middle of the day, always, you do not want to get burned. And insect repellent would be a major must, because it doesn't matter what time of year, but I always get bit. But if I have more junk out, I do not want bites. We already got monkeypox. I do not want other bites around my nutcase or anything like that. So wear insect repellent, but it can seem, so now you're putting on the insect repellent, you're putting on the SPF. It's a lot to take into consideration. Lube. It's a hot mess. It sounds.
That's why you do not have sex in the sleeping bag. You bring a towel. That is the most important one for me, I think, because you don't want to mess up your expensive sleeping bag. I think that taught me a lot.
But I do love the act of just calling out into the wild and really screaming as much as you want and being as loud as you can. I think too many of us hold things in. And my recommendation is that just really let it go. If you're going to do it, let it all out. What does El Rey say before I move on to the next topic?
Just tell the neighbors you're welcome when you're done. And I do. I knock on the wall and say, I love you too.
Got it.
Well, the sound of the glass dropping. The cup against the wall.
Oh, yeah. I know. I mean, I get funny looks when I'm out in the hallway. So,
well, I think it would be fun to play Would You Rather. We were going to do this on Tuesday's show, and we didn't get to do this. I think it would be really fun to play with you, Eric Millen. Would you rather? This comes from actually menshealth.com. There were so many of them. We haven't gotten through a fraction of these. The ones we came up for this show would you rather be with someone who is so amazing in bed that every single time is life-changing, but the rest of the time you're in a screaming fight, or have decent sex twice a month and the rest of the time your partner is your best friend? Eric?
I've had both, the best ones are the crazy ones, right? The ones that we have the most fierce physical chemistry. I found, I don't know, it's a tough decision. I think it depends on the other side. So
we only got a couple minutes, so
sure. If the mediocre sex comes with some good laughs throughout that month, it's only twice a month you get laid, but you got some good laughs and some warmth, I think that's better. I think that lasts longer, and I think it can be deeper. You'll still think about the other one.
I'm going to agree with you, and I'm going to go with the decent sex twice a month. My reasoning is a little bit differently, because it said, would you rather be with someone? It didn't say monogamous relationship here. So I'm going to find that screaming sex with somebody outside of the relationship and get it and know and have this confirmed good decent sex with somebody that is my best friend the other half of the time. And I'll find that screaming sex outside of the relationship.
Get it.
Oh, there's always a workaround, Kodi.
Hello, you better make it work for you.
What about you?
I think I'm already in the first one. Okay. Except for the caveat that he is one of my best friends as well. So I would probably choose option one, honestly.
Got it. All right, let's keep moving. Would you rather only be able to do super acrobatic sex positions, or only be able to do missionary position? This one seems easy. I mean, I would only want to, I'm a former gymnast, so I'd only want to be able to do super acrobatic sex positions, which is what I already kind of do in bed for the most part. I want to mix it up. But that's me as a former gymnast. Eric, what would you rather? I feel like you're going to be missionary.
No, I'm a massage therapist. There's so much you can do on a massage table.
I love sex on a massage table.
It takes a bit of trust, and you really got to know how stable your table is. If you got the connection and the time and thicker walls, because you can't quite do it as outdoors sounding as you'd like.
Just bring that table to the campsite, and then you can do it as loud as you want. I love sex on if I see a table, I'm immediately thinking sex, always.
Really? Not massage?
Well, that too, but I love a good happy ending.
I mean, who doesn't, darling? I might go have a happy ending very soon now. So I would pick the super acrobatic sex for sure, because I want to sex swing. I want to do all of the things. I want to hang from the ceiling. I want to see it. Where's the chandelier, baby?
What's Joe saying on this? Is he not responding?
He's
here?
not responding. I told him to be quiet.
Callie Dad says super acrobatic. I love that. El Rey says just missionary. What does he say? Can you read it, Cody?
Just missionary want. But the older I get, I consider what I have to do the next day. So very valid.
Very
Joe
fair.
actually just
with-
says he
what
got
did
a ball. He got a ball gag. So we got a ball gag. So
Oh, okay. Add that to the
Hello.
mix. Yeah, the problem with missionary sometimes is the guy on the top, sometimes, at least in gay sex, is what I'm speaking from, is they get too much on top of you and you can't jerk off. You know what I'm saying, Cody? They're so on
I
top of you.
do, but
And I
I'm
don't
such a
like that. I
talented
don't like
top-
when they do that. And because it's like, no, get away. I need to do my thing too. So
He doesn't
I'm kind of
jack
a
you off
bossy
while-
bottom.
Oh,
So
okay.
there's that issue to it. But I have
can
a
teach
feeling.
classes, I think.
Okay. I have a feeling Eric could teach too. Let's keep this moving. Would you rather never be able to come again or never be able to have your favorite meal again?
Oof.
This is an easy one for me, but I'm just going to
Right.
start. Go ahead, Eric.
Oh fuck! I'll eat crackers the rest of my life. Come on. There's no comparison. How are you gonna get to sleep?
Yeah, I'm with you on this one too, and I feel Cody's on the same wavelength
Oh,
too,
yeah,
because
for sure.
you, like me, Cody, I know you love so many types of foods.
That was my point.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay.
I have so many
We
favorite
love-
foods.
Yeah, and you know, we both have friends. I know I have so many friends that they're so picky and they don't like this and they don't like that, blah, blah, blah. I'm not one of those people. I love if
Everything.
you got into my potpourri of likes of food, it's so extensive that I'm like, fine, I can't have that anymore. Pasta al dente Montepulciano, fine. I can have this French dish over here, and I can have that Thai dish over here, and I can, but don't
That's
take
right.
away my coming, because that's
I only
a
got one
secret
coming.
sauce. It's a
That's
secret
right.
sauce, and it's not BBQ, Cody. So you better,
Darling, you have to try barbecue, darling. Barbecue during
Never.
sex. Let's do
What
it.
are the people saying before I move on to our last one?
The people say they would give up their. Xavier says he would give up his favorite meal. Everybody is saying favorite meal. Joe says,
What's
my
people's
boyfriend-
favorite meal, by the way? Just put that in the mix because I want to hear what some people's favorite meal is that they would actually give up.
Joe says he would only eat one ice cube if he had to.
Wow. That's somebody. Okay. I mean, interesting. I love that. Lastly, on Would You rather have sex that only ever lasted 3 minutes or 3 hours?
Yes.
This is kind of a only ever lasted 3 minutes or 3 hours. I'm kind of a wham bam, thank you, ma'am, and it would be 3 minutes.
Really? That is so shocking.
You know,
to
on
me.
this show, we are very efficient with our time. 3 minutes is a long time. I can do a lot on this show, and I can get a whole topic done in 3 minutes and then some. I am efficient these days with this show. I will take 3 minutes. 3 hours. Oh my God. I'm writing a book right now, and that's time that I could be back on my laptop writing away about that
Okay.
3 minute sex and then some. Eric, what would you choose?
3 hours, but I'd need a break. Longer sessions are far better.
No breaks allowed, sweetie.
3 hours. If cuddling counts, then sure,
Yes,
3 hours.
and it does. It
You
does.
just got to be
I
disciplined.
agree. I agree
It
with you. 3
does.
hours all the way, because if it's 3 minutes, I can't do all the tricks and acrobatic things that I want to do in the second question. So that's why.
And I love El Rey, who puts fuck that 3 hour shit. I got things to do. Thank you, El Rey. We got to eat one of our other meals that we're not allowed because we chose to come. 3 hours for sure, says Kelly Dad. What is some of the other comments?
El Rey says, can he pick 45 minutes? No, that's cheating.
Yeah. Read the question.
Xavier says 3 minutes or he misses his train.
We've always been with those types before.
Oh my
Anybody
goodness.
else?
Oh, let's see what else we got going on over here.
Did you read Real 11982?
Oh, he was talking about never being able to come again.
Okay.
He honestly loves making a bottom come before he does. So most times he doesn't come. So he would rather give up coming than his food, I think is what he was saying.
Mac and cheese, right? I'm seeing that and you're seeing that. Buy mac and cheese. Oh, that's relative to the favorite food.
Yeah,
okay, I thought there was some
I don't know.
coming and then never mind. I'm losing the thread there.
Well, we're going to say bye. Thank you so much, Eric, for coming on the show. And you can always go to lookinglistpersonals.com. I will list the different ways that you can get onto the app and get busy writing away and finding what you want. Thank you so much, Eric, for doing the show.
Thanks.
Yeah, we'll stay in contact. Yes, and we'll stay in contact.
Cheers. Thanks very much, guys.
Absolutely.
Have a good night.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
And lastly, to end our show, we have to do our favorite segment, which is Straight Up Gay Porn's Thirst Trap Thursday. This week, they're asking out of 17 gay porn stars who took the best photo. This was an easy one for me, Kodi.
Really? Because it was so hard for me. There's so many beautiful guys on the list this week.
Well, the one I chose is somebody that I have purchased their OnlyFans.
Okay.
He is Lucky Charms. He is so sexy. First of all, the picture of him, he's got this sexy beard, great grin on his face, a t-shirt, and the thickest cock ever with his legs spread. His head is so huge. I know this because I've seen it on OnlyFans before. He is actually into feet. So all of his videos are him worshiping feet, and he just loves it. He's a really nice guy. I've called him out on the show before, and I want to get him on the show, but he is my favorite. He seems like the nicest guy. He loves what he does and the content he puts out, but he also has this beautiful dick too. So he's kind of a winner for me, and I'm so happy to see him on the list. And before I forget, you guys can vote. If you look at the list, go to the bottom of it. This will be posted on TAGSPodcast.com. Do them a favor and vote for your favorite at the bottom there. Kodi, who is yours?
So I was gonna go with Tony Genius because he had it's the guy with the pizza box with his dick in it, because I need to try that, number one. But then I got to the bottom of the list, and Michael Privius.
Oh my God, he's gorgeous. I just saw him right this second, who is winning, by the way.
Yes. And I didn't want to even show him to my boyfriend because his picture, he's so beautiful. It's like, hide your kids, hide your husband, hide everybody, because he is beautiful. And the picture is just so gorgeous. He's got this beautiful curly hair, this big fat cock, of course. And he's in a chair in a all white kitchen with that cock just slanging to the left, and it's so
beautiful
gorgeous.
Feet too.
And I was like, how can I not vote for this beautiful man?
He's I know. I'm glad I didn't see him at the beginning. I just immediately went to Lucky Nick's Charms because I love him. And what are people saying?
People are saying Kyle Fletcher. Daddy234 says Kyle Fletcher. Wilden says Raheem Shabazz, who is a fan favorite, of course. El Rey says Nick Charms is sexy, but Michael Privius looks like his neighbor minus the abs. Am I his neighbor? Anyway,
I have to visit you.
Oz says Conhor, who was also at the top of my list, because it's just he knows his best asset, pun intended, because it's just a big old booty in the frame. And I love it. He's twerking for Jesus. Anyway. And Xavier says Gael has a look that would make me never miss a meal.
Oh, yeah. Some of these make you weak in the knees.
Oh, yes. It was a good week. I was like, is this the wrap up? What's going on here?
Yeah, it's a good one. If you click on their vote at the end of it, because we want your favorite to win, because at the end of the year, they do a wrap up, and those highest contenders get pulled into a larger contest. And so you want to see your favorite there. This has been so much fun, Kodi.
Darling.
Yeah, we want to thank our special guest, Eric Millen, for Looking List Personals. Check that out. I'm starting to put some personals up there. Follow my co-host. He's a life coach at KMD Coaching on Instagram, as well as Mr. Maurice. And for crying out loud, follow us at TAGSPodcast on Twitter, Instagram, the TikTok, and all of the above. And Kodi, get out of my head. Can you sing us out with some Billy Ocean?
Get out of my dreams.
Oh, get out of my dreams. I don't know.
Get into my life.
Billy Ocean's Get
love
Out
Billy
of My
Ocean.
Dreams.
You got to listen to Suddenly. It's so good.
Oh, okay. And Caribbean Queen, we got to
And
mention
Caribbean
that.
Queen. Now we're sharing the same dream.
Bye, you guys.
Bye, guys. Have a good night.